What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K. Today I want to talk about going into next gen. What are the advantages that Microsoft...
What's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K.
I keep forgetting to do that. What are the advantages that Microsoft may hold going into the next gen with its gaming console, its peripherals, everything? Let's talk about it. What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? You got your peoples already in the chat. The homie Heath Stevens and the People's Mac. What it do? What's going on, man? I deeply apologize for the technical difficulties. Just, not that y'all care, because all y'all care about is the output, right? Y'all don't care about the grueling stuff we got to do as YouTubers and all that other fun stuff. But I took a whole hour to prepare for this stream today, and I still muffed it up with my old ass. What's going on, everybody? We're going to give the chat time to fill up and all the other stuff. I appreciate everybody listening, whether it's on demand, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you know what I mean, on iTunes, Mixer, YouTube, you know what I mean, all that stuff. I appreciate all of y'all, straight up. I don't just say, it's not just a slogan. I can't do this without y'all. You know what I mean? And I appreciate everything that y'all do and how y'all support your boy in this dog crap channel, and support the material. Homie Heath Stevens says, that crazy razzle last night was the, hey, yo. Hey, I cannot vouch, Heath, for anything that happens on the homie Dirk Griggity's channel. That's his channel, man. You know what I'm saying? But as everybody's filling up, how's everybody doing? What's everybody gaming on? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to, hey, look, man, here's the thing. While I'm tweeting all this out, your boy MM2K got a dilemma. I do. I really do. Now, as I done told y'all, if you're following your boy, I got the Hard Knock digital culture going on right now. Okay. I got it going on right now over at the Twitch, over on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? We got videos and stuff coming up and all that fun stuff. And I definitely want y'all to join that movement. It's all about hardcore gaming, all that fun stuff, right? So let me take a look here, because something don't look like it's working right. Again, it's just the wonders. Okay, no, we good. I just wanted to make sure that link was good. All right, so we're gonna do a number like this. What? Yeah, I got that going on over there, right? And my dilemma is I want to do a game stream today. I'm going to do a game stream directly after this. It's either going to be The Division 2 or Rage 2. I really don't know which one it's going to be. Here's my problem. The Division 2, I'm running on PC, right? No, I'm sorry. I'm running it on Xbox. Okay. I'm running it on the X, so I get no problems. But for some reason, in Bethesda, man, hey, look, y'all making it hard for a brother to cap for y'all this year, man, or this generation. For some reason, due to this damn Bethesda launcher and how things connect to it and all that crazy stuff. Hey, yo, I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get this damn thing to work when I'm trying to stream stuff on Twitch via the PC. The launcher messes up with, and it's part of it is Streamlabs too. It's not all Mixer. I mean, not Mixer. It's not all Twitch. It's not all the PC. It's not all the launcher. A lot of it is Streamlabs as well. But see, my problem there is that I don't have this problem with any other program. I don't have this problem with any other application. I really don't. That I run off my PC. So this is unacceptable, man. But I want to run Rage 2. I got mad hours in the Division. Steven says. Steve is right on time. He says Bethesda is a piece of you-know-what. I wouldn't go that far yet. But even, y'all know me. Y'all know I love my Bethesda, my Fallout, all that stuff. I can't cap for what's going on, man. I get it. See, this is what y'all understand. We're not going to make this into a Bethesda thing because we got a lot of eye-opening stuff to talk about. As my man Heath Stevens alluded to earlier, we had a fantastic Scram Punks last night. It's the other podcast that I run. It's on Dirk Griggity's channel. Please check out hashtag Scram Punks for more information on that, particularly on YouTube. Just check it out, or you can just put hashtag Scram Punks in your favorite browser, whatever the case may be. You will be connected so you can opine. All right? With that being said, I love how Bethesda puts a lot of journey into their games. I'm going to give y'all a quick background while I'm tweeting all this stuff out. Reason why I'm such a fan of games like Fallout, Bethesda, and even the Ubisoft games like Far Cry and stuff like that in the Division, it's because I love journeying. I love searching for stuff. I love being able to build up my character. I love getting into firefights and stuff like that in the meanwhile. The missions are cool, but the missions don't even do it for me all like that anymore. Like, now when I play Fallout or Elder Scrolls, I might do like 2 main missions and then I just journey. And that having that as an option is just fantastic for me. A lot of y'all don't like that. Y'all like to have the single player experience with the guardrails on, and I appreciate them too. Trust me. I love games like BioShock. I tell you, BioShock and Mass Effect, I love them games. But I come from a background with some serious RPG elements in it. And in those type of games, if you've played the old school RPGs, the turn-based, JRPG, whatever you want to call it, right? You know how the MO was. And I told y'all, my favorite game of all times is an RPG by the name of Phantasy Star 2. Love that game, man. Love it. Changed my whole perspective on games and how in-depth they could be in the story. That was one of the most effed up stories. I get y'all like all these tearjerker stories. Oh, the stuff that makes y'all want to kiss y'all kids in the forehead and all that other stuff before y'all go to bed. I'm just talking about like messed up, like wow. Like we're about to get into some crazy stuff. You ain't got time to cry because you're about to get into some crazy stuff. Phantasy Star 2, if y'all can handle like a turn-based RPG, I think it's in like the Sega Arcade. I definitely urge y'all to try it if y'all like to play nostalgic games. My favorite game of all times. Like I said, it changed my perspective on how games can be presented in a story-based way that was like still like eye-opening, like dang, that was messed up, but still be badass. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that I like. Okay, but with that said, even when you're playing those type of games, right, you have a tendency to go, how you start off, everything's hunky-dory, then all of a sudden there's this tragic element that makes you have to leave your village, right? Then once you leave your village, you start fighting and you start finding companions. Then you go to the major city, you know what I'm saying? Where you become the ultimate protagonist, and it's all about you journeying from village to village and fighting monsters and doing missions. The going from village to village part is the most poignant part of a turn-based RPG, right? So it's that traveling between village to village where you get your missions and stuff like that, to where you do a lot of grinding. You're doing a lot of fighting of enemies in forests and stuff like that, right? And when you fight those enemies, you have a decision to make. Do you just fight them along the path and just keep going? Or do you grind it out and build up your character? And what you're supposed to do is grind it out. Because as you go to the next city, you'll always notice that the items are astronomically high, right? You never go into a city if you just go straight from village A to village B and be able to buy that stuff. It never works out that way. So what your boy used to do is, I used to grind like crazy. I would go in my travels between village A to village B or whatever it was, I would go up a minimum of 5 levels before I went to the next village. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but for those of y'all that understand the grind that's in these old school RPGs, you know that that's a lot. Meaning, I would spend days. Like, you finish one set of missions in one village, and I would actually spend a day or two just grinding, just for hours, right? Sounds crazy, but that's just what I do. So if you take the fact that I used to be able to do that, just fight the same bosses in the same area over and over again, and now you fast forward it to today, where you have these games that essentially allow you to do the same type of battling, but it's not so much grinding. You're not just fighting in the same area. Like, for instance, Fallout. I don't got to follow the same story. I ain't got to follow the story mission. I can just journey about and find all types of missions as well. These aren't necessarily side missions. I just stumble upon something, and if I do this real quick before I head to the main mission, you know what I mean? I might get X weapon. That blows my mind. So that takes something that I used to do that was very mundane, you know, and not shredded in a lot of, you know, different elements. It was just grinded. You take that aspect of it and now put it into games like Fallout, Division, stuff like that, to where you can journey off the beaten path and find a whole nother story that you can dwell yourself in. And you still know that once you get tired with that, you can get back to the main story. I love those type of games. As long as there's enough content and enough dynamic stuff for you to do to where it's not stagnant, it's okay with me. You know what I mean? So that's why I love Bethesda games so much, because they allow you to go off that beaten path, experience dozens of hours of missions, side missions, all the other stuff, without even doing the main, and you know you still got the main mission in your back pocket. So let's just say in a scenario, you go do everything out there in the world, you can still go back to the main mission, and you know you got plenty of material there. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Yuri Hama. You know, I appreciate all of y'all joining me. Hey, we're going to get into this, man. I know I did a lot of babble, but I just wanted to get all that stuff out because we got a lot of things to cover today, man. We got a lot of things to cover. All right. So here's the deal. I referenced, well, let me do this before I go any further. If y'all want, because you know how your boy get. You know I go into my spiel. You know I get into my bag. Right? And y'all be having some, again, this is one of the most intelligent and CD Mac 5, what's going on, man? One of the most mentally diverse chats. And I'm proud that you guys come here, of all places. Y'all can go to so many other places, and y'all come here to get, you know what I'm saying, the medicine, the prognosis from your boy. And often I miss what you guys got to say because it's not in the chat. You know what I mean? I mean because it's not visible in front of me. I'm going flicking through screens and stuff like that. Do me a huge favor. That right there is the link to the live messaging chat. If you're listening to this on demand, you can see it there too. So for future shows, if you join us live, you know where to go. You can drop a chat in there. It'll pop on my screen so I can do nothing but see it. I'll immediately respond to it and we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? And it helps give you a spotlight, and it don't cost you anything to do it but a couple of clicks. You know what I mean? So if y'all could do that, it also helps support the channel. And again, it helps me see what y'all saying, because y'all be getting into it. You know what I mean? And I love that dynamic. And it allows me to put a spotlight on the stuff that you want to reach out to everybody with. Okay. But with that being said, let's get into it. All right. So here's the thing, y'all. Here's the real deal Holyfield. Okay. I am going to be on Z's show later. What's up, Nico PBG? What's going on? Tweet this out if you could, please, y'all. Just hit that share button right there on the screen. Just hit that share button and just hit send, man, for Twitter. I appreciate anything y'all can do, man. Because we're going to talk about it today. So, here, a common thing, for those of y'all that missed Scram Punks last night, a common thing that's being run is MM2K. You just hate Xbox. You're just an Xbox hater at heart. You have no intentions of being positive for Xbox at all. You're doing this because this is convenient, right? And I'm not saying this to disparage anybody or to make you or to convince y'all to think a certain way. Y'all can think and perceive things however you want to perceive it or think it. It is what it is. Here's all I'm saying, though. Be very careful when y'all try to take criticisms of your preferred platform and mask them as whole as hate. Okay? It's not that I hate Xbox. I love Xbox. The problem is I feel like I love Xbox more than people pulling the levers over at Xbox. Most notably Phil. I mean, a fact that we can't deny is that Xbox, when it came on the scene, pulled in the hardcore gaming crowd. Whether you like Xbox or not, that's one fact that we cannot deny. Is that it pulled in the hardcore gaming crowd. I can say it a third time, but I just want to get on the record and understand that I'm not that slow. I understand what product placement the system had and who its target demographic was. And I want to put it on the record that if I know it with my dumb, slow old ass, I know you know it too. We know who they targeted. We know who they marketed. And because of who they targeted and what they marketed, the masses started to come. At first, people didn't understand what they was dealing with. They saw this green and black, big old clunky ass box. They didn't know what they were getting, right? Microsoft paid Shaquille O'Neal and different stars to do the 16-man frag parties and all that other stuff, right? And slowly but surely, it wasn't an easy, path to success, but slowly but surely, they started to see success with the brand. They continued on the hardcore beaten path. They had some stumbles. The red ring of death, right? What's up, Sean? The red ring of death. Okay. With the 60% failure rate. Didn't always work out for Xbox in the way that they wanted it to. But at the end of last generation, which was the most contentious, I know there's a lot of numbers being thrown out there about console sell, but consoles are an ends to a means, and Microsoft was number one in software sold. Sony was number two, and Nintendo was three with the Wii. A lot of people don't realize that. Even though Microsoft and Sony made towards the latter end of the generation went back and forth on console sales, and people are now saying that the PlayStation 3 sold more consoles as of this date, which it really don't matter. The generation been over. And I don't deny that may be the case. Like as of right now, there might be more PlayStation 3s that were sold than Xbox 360s. I mean, here's the thing. I was just checking. Now, big ups to the peoples at my homies at the Vitamin G podcast, right? We got Heath Stevens. He says, you know what, MM2K, I don't like junk box, but I want them to do good because it puts pressure on PlayStation to do better. I think it's over for junk box. And you know what? Even though the original Xbox brand I love, and I got some contention about what's going on with this new regime, right? We had Fable backstage, but we didn't want to show it, so we put on Flight Simulator because there were mysterious congressmen that want to pass laws, and I wanted to show them that gaming is not all about headshots. So we put out Flight Simulator. I don't know know where that came from. And the people that are eating up that garbage, because it's straight garbage, it's raccoon food. The people that are eating up that garbage, I urge you, and I'm being serious about this, because I'm concerned. Check your house for gas leaks, carbon monoxide poisoning. Make sure that the paint in your house ain't made out of lead. Because that's the most asinine and most dumb thing I've ever heard in my life. These mystery congressmen that all of a sudden are going to pass these laws that are going to destroy gaming is what caused you to be super buttery soft on E3 stage. The biggest stage ever where you said you was coming big. Pause. I don't see Sony talking about that. I don't see Nintendo talking about that. I see them talking about these tariffs. But they're not talking about the mystery congressman that called Phil up 3 a.m. in the morning that forced them to take Fable off the stage and put in Flight Simulator, a PC timed exclusive. Do y'all know who this congressman is? Congressman Gibblygook. I don't know who he is. But with that said, back to what my man Heath Stevens was saying. It don't matter what you like. As Heath alludes to, and he alludes to right on spot, hit the nail right on the head. That competition, the concern that my rivals might have a better product than I do, and they might overshadow my efforts, that concern is what drives better product. Me and Heath got 2 lemonade stands, competing lemonade stands. He's out there killing it. I'm like, well, damn, this is the only place with shade. I'm going to operate here. I'm not going nowhere else. So what? Heath lives right across the street from me. I pulled my table and put my lemonade out. If Heath is selling his lemonade for $3, I know I can't sell mine for $5. Unless I come up with a reason why you sell mine for $5. I got better cups. My ice cubes seem to, last longer or something like that. I give you a free sandwich with them. Or I'm going to have to undercut him. At the end of the day, regardless of me and Heath is going back and forth, because Heath might cut his prices or he might try to get better cups than me that turn into Transformers after you drink your lemonade. He might, because of us going back and forth, the most important thing is the consumer that comes down me and Heath's block. They're like, God damn, this is the hottest block out here. I love coming out here to get lemonade. Let me see who got the better deal for me today. Is it Heath or is it MM2K? And as I'm watching more people go to Heath, I got to up my game and vice versa. We cannot celebrate a world when it comes to consumer products where Fortune 500 people can sit in their fancy lofts, in their swimming pools, go on their fancy vacations, and they ain't got to fight for us. That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life ever. And that's why I got to say to my brethren, y'all sitting there capping for this mantra. Man, if I want to do good, I don't have to beat another man down. No, nobody telling you to physically attack anybody, Phil. But you got to do good for your consumers. You always got to show that sense of urgency that I'm trying to do the best. If they set that benchmark high, I'm going higher. I ain't got to beat them down because I know they're going to look at the benchmark after I set it higher and they're going to try to go higher than me. There are pleasant competitors out there that can apply and say, you know what? I love that you outdid me, but keep your eye open. That don't sound... When Microsoft had successful numbers with the Xbox One X, homeboy Yoshida, that tweets every 35,000 years, came out and said, yo, congratulations, Xbox. He didn't curse out Phil. He didn't threaten to attack his children and burn his wife at the stake. He said, congratulations. And guess what them motherfuckers did? The following year, they stomped the skin off of Xbox. They didn't disparage him. Didn't talk shit on him. Didn't troll him. Said nothing nasty. Sean Lake was even on stage with him. Now that's a pleasant warrior, whether you like his product or not. So Phil, when you're sitting there telling these people this, I know what you're trying to do, but more importantly, consumer, when you're listening to this, do not eat this garbage up. Stop dining on the raccoon food. Period. Period. But with that said, I digress. Y'all got me started on a whole nother tangent. Let me know if the stream is good for y'all too. Looks like it's buffering for me. Is everything all right? We good. But golly, so we were having this discussion on Scram Punks yesterday, and everybody's like, MM2K, you just a hater. You hate Xbox. And no, I love Xbox. I want them to survive. Other people want them to survive too, that aren't fans of the product, because they understand what happened in the PlayStation 3 era. When PlayStation 3 felt too comfortable and they was able to move their elbows freely at the beginning of the gen, and they thought they could drop a $600 console with all this Ghibli Cook and all these doodads and these gadgets and all that other stuff. Like, people forget. PlayStation thought they had it in the bag last gen. They thought they just knew they was going to steamroll. That's why they made the core processor, because it was supposed to, when you combined it with multiple it was even used as a computer, like a supercomputer. So like how the Xbox One pushed its auxiliary services with TV and cable and all that stuff to the forefront, PlayStation was trying to do the same thing with the PlayStation 3. And they focused less on gaming, and they paid for it, just like how Xbox boneheadedly tried the same thing, just thought they could do it better because they were Microsoft, and they paid for it. You know what I mean? So people understand that are from the PlayStation side. Not all of them. Some people think Microsoft or Xbox never did anything good for gaming, and that's a whole nother story. That's just out there in the weeds. But the people that don't care for Xbox but know the sense of urgency that it gives to Sony, like for instance, again, Yoshida saw those positive numbers for the X. He sent out one, congratulations, Microsoft. That's it. He didn't go into a long drawn out, Mike Ybarra tweet, God of War was the greatest and I loved it when I played it as a kid and I jumped off the roof with my throwable ass. He didn't do that. He just said, congratulations, Xbox. In other words, all right, we see you. We see you. Just like how Jay-Z used to call up different rappers, Lil Wayne to them, and be like, oh yeah, I see you, dog. I see you. Congratulations, I see you. In other words, let you know, now you're making me step my game up. We all, as consumers, should fight for that. And the entity of our choice, whenever they stray away from that, it is our job. Especially us in the know. It is our job to keep them in check. When we don't do that, we're not looking out for our fellow gamers. We're taking the easy road out. I'm just going to hide in my corner. I don't want them ponies to say nothing about me. I'm just going to hide in my corner, suck my thumb. No. Gaming is a community. A community just ain't about showing up on some goddamn commercial and having some exec in some limbo shirt hug you at E3. And y'all have a beer and say, we love that guy. No. Community means you also, more prevalent than anything, look out for each other. You're not looking out for each other when you let these executives pilfer you. But I'm the old man shaking his fist at the window. I don't know what I'm talking about. With that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes. But before we do that again, because y'all chopping it up in this chat, and I appreciate everybody that's watching. Just like how my man Heath Stevens, got my blood boiling. You want to get my blood boiling, you know what I'm saying? Something else. Just drop something in the free chat. Doesn't cost you a thing to put anything in the chat. And I read it immediately, and then we keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the meat and potatoes, people. What are Xbox advantages going into next gen? Are there any? Well, let's look. And even though I went on my tirade, I'm just letting y'all know I don't hate Xbox. But I can individually look at things and dissect it with a scalpel and look at the problem parts that need surgery. Okay. And as we talked about last night on Scram Punks, Phil Spencer's one of those parts. Now, I'm not at the point to say, okay, let me just step back a little bit. I've been saying through my hyperbole that Xbox is dead. And I might pull that back. I might pull that back. If Phil Spencer changes his tune, which is less likely. Why would he change his tune if he's seeing the financial success that he's seeing now? Or B, if he gets replaced. Now, I talked about who I thought his replacement should be. I personally think that he would be in a lot better place, or we would be in a lot better place, everybody. Y'all love all this game cloud stuff and all this. Y'all can love it. Y'all would still have that because Satya make that a standard. Okay, for them to become hardware agnostic, for them not to be dedicated so much to a console. But I think it would have been done a lot more accordingly if Mike Ybarra was in charge instead of Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer's a great tech guy, okay? He's had his hands in some of the best tech that have been presented to Xbox, if not gaming in general. Things like the adaptive controller. It's a beautiful implementations. Wonderful, right? But Phil's philosophy on gaming is too siloed as far as the content. And Xbox is a content provider. Now, his philosophy on gamer outreach amongst each other is nice. It's nice and it's PG. And nice and PG would be more suited for, and this is where I think Phil really belongs, would be suited for the ESRA. The ESRA is a lobbying group, for lack of a better term, that's used to represent gaming and work with Congress and stuff like that when it comes to these gaming issues. You know, they do the ratings and the stuff. They do stuff like that to try to tensions between the naysayers and Congress and in the government and the American government system, and what's for the benefit of gamers, right? There are a best link that's out there to represent us against some of this silly stuff that's out here. A lot of the stuff that Phil wants to implement, this community mindedness as far as being nice to each other and all of that would be great monikers and fodder to be at the ESRA to present to Congress to show, hey, look at the artsy dartsy part of gaming. Y'all need to stop being focused on the shoot 'em up stuff. There's the artsy fartsy parts of gaming. And he would be a good representative for that. He is not a good content provider or head of content content being provided. We showed you, and if you missed it, here you go again. We showed you that ever since Phil took over as Microsoft studio head in 2009, the quality in content, AAA banger content, dramatically dropped. My hip hop heads are familiar with that. It dramatically dropped. Now y'all might be saying, hey, yeah, I saw that list, MM2K. I saw you on Next Gen 720's podcast feeding us that snake oil. That's not fair. Right? Because Phil had to deal with, he had to deal with the connect and all that other stuff. And they were focused on the connect. Let me explain something to you, man. Everything that you see from Phil, that was AAA hardcore content, was the exact same thing now that without the guardrails and the handcuffs of the connect and them having to focus on that. You see the same exact stuff that's being presented from him now. Not as far as AAA, it's just Halo, Gears, and Forza. Throw in a Japanese title or two that nobody really cares about. Magna Carta 2, which I think was a fine RPG, but it flew under the radar and it wasn't marketed well. And a lot of squishy, silly shit. You see the exact same thing then that you do now. What's the excuse? Y'all can't keep capping for Phil. So again, as far as being a content provider for Xbox, for the Xbox brand, the brand that, again, that as I alluded to earlier in this podcast, the brand that brought us here, he's not suited for that. He belongs at the ESRA. With that said, no. Let's dig deeper. Because again, this is just Xbox hate, right? Me focusing on Phil, me surgically looking at the body, right, and saying, okay, let me help. Let's radiate the cancer, get the cancer out. Because I'm cutting out certain parts and I'm focused on getting rid of certain parts of the body, I hate the person as a whole. That utterly makes no sense, y'all. And again, check for gas leaks, check for lead chips, if those are the monikers that you want to run with. Heath Stevens again says, I've been gaming since the beginning with Atari, and I remember people freaking over blood drops in Mortal Kombat. Exactly. Thank you, Heath. You've had these, and look, now more than ever, you have people that are more accepting of some of the violence in gaming, because you got a lot more gamers now that are older than you did back in our day, Heath. You hit it again. You spot on. It was crazier back in the 80s and 90s. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my. It was crazy back then. Now, what you do see a lot with violence, period, is people is trying to soften up everything. It's not so much, we're trying to get rid of violence because, it's going to destroy the world. They're trying to squelch down things and make it so squishy and soft because society now just can't handle conflict. Everybody needs to be nice. Watch what you say about anything to anybody. I want to go to a club, but I'm going to put my own earphones in my head and separate myself from people. This is an isolationist society. Don't say nothing to me. Don't talk to me. So you have that happening because people are less and less built to deal with conflict, and that in turn is trying to soften everything up and water down the more gritty material. But again, to your point, Heath, we've always had to deal with people saying that violent video games was the death of the world, was the death of society. So again, I don't understand why people are gobbling up this whole theory that Phil's coming out of nowhere with these mysterious congressmen that were going to destroy gaming. So hence why he had to F up E3. Stop. That being said, oh, here goes the real Maslin. He said, most is trash in every game known to man. He only like RPG elements. My restraining order, I'm refiling a new restraining order. It just expired last week when we let you on the show, Mass. Now I got to reactivate it. No, my homie, the real Master. Mass, are we doing Mr. Parker's a dumbass tomorrow? Are we doing it or what? It's my favorite podcast. All right. That being said, why do I say this about Phil? Okay, if you guys have been following me, you know that I talked about the CD3 Awakening. Hashtag CD3 Awakening. Put it in YouTube. You know, you'll find my previous videos on this. I told you, I tried to tell my Xbox brethren that a lot of you that are doing this capping right now, the fruits of your labor, quote unquote, to your own demise, was going to come to fruition once Crackdown was released. Because something's wrong with Crackdown. Z tried to tell y'all. The proof was in the pudding. I tried to tell y'all that quality in the eyes of Phil is not the same quality that the hardcore is looking at. That he revealed that at DICE and y'all just wanted to cover y'all ears and play mum, right? That y'all were not looking at things directly and y'all were trying to turn a blind eye to it. And Crackdown 3 was going to cause a seismic rift in the Xbox community. And was I not right? Was I not right? Ever since Crackdown 3 was released, because all Crackdown 3 had to do, sadly, my Xbox brethren have settled for mediocre. And what I mean by mediocre is, I don't mean because it got a good score in a gaming magazine. Who cares about that? I never went off the scores. If I went off the scores, I would be a fan of PlayStation stuff. And I'm not. But that's just me. Okay? It's not the score so much. It's just something that was acceptable in saying, this is decent quality. Where there was a consensus that this was decent quality. That's all Crackdown had to do. It had all the development time in the world. It had, even though Wrecking Zone was a wrecking zone, you still had the campaign that was still in the hands of the same goddamn people. And none of that shit came out edible. None of it popped out the oven edible. But yet you had reassurances from Phil, the guy that y'all want to claim that because I feel that, I hate to say this, but I feel that cancerous state of mind needs to be cut from the body. Again, I don't know Phil personally. I don't want to call him a cancer. I'm talking about the mantras that he tried to pass off, that because I want that cancerous state of mind cut and lasered from the body so the body can heal and survive. Did y'all try to say that because I say that I hate Xbox? I hate the whole body because I want it saved? This is the same guy that tried to reassure you time and time again. I'm playing with my agent, pause. And my agent feels super powerful and all that. No. The agent is just a more visually stunning, resolution-filled Crackdown. That's all you got. That's all you got. I'm not even focusing on the Wrecking Zone. I'm not even focusing on that. It's a non-factor. Just a campaign. Just a campaign. That has been in production for decades and decades. What happened there? I told y'all that when y'all saw what Phil considered quality or what he was telling y'all was quality, when y'all saw that, it was going to cause a problem. But you still got people that are clinging on for hope because they don't want to give a leg up in their minds to the PlayStation people. Paul G, what's going on, homie? They don't want to give a leg up to the PlayStation people. So because they don't want to give a leg up to the PlayStation people, they are going to deny that anything's wrong. It's like I told y'all before. Imagine you have neighbors that you don't like. Y'all don't get along. You know, they're always talking smack on you. One day, you come outside and you're like, hold on. I smell fire. Is there a fire in my house? And you're checking around the house and the neighbors say, oh yeah, I noticed that fire over there is on the side of the roof. Yeah, I don't like y'all. Instead of you saying, okay, just because they saw the fire don't mean that they deserve some claim to fame. I got to take care of my house before I respond to them. It's all about keep making sure my house is in order. And instead of calling the police, you just lock the door and try to pretend that the fire's not there. Thinking it's going to correct itself. Somebody will come by and fix it. And that way I ain't got to give nothing, in no way, shape, or form of acknowledgement to these neighbors across the street that I don't like. But when you come back, guess what? Your house is gone. And that's essentially what's happening here. Y'all are so embedded in this whole console war thing that you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. At the end of the day, it's about the experiences in the games. And you can't tell me, even with the controller, even with the multiplayer and the online and stuff like that, you can't tell me that that's what you came to Xbox for. That's baloney. It's bogus. It's bullshit. You came to Xbox for the total experience, with the major staple being the games or the gaming footprint that they put in the industry. The fact that they either gave you a Halo or they helped come to fruition a Mass Effect. They either gave you a Gears or they helped to come to fruition a BioShock. The fact that they gave you a Jade Empire or they helped come to fruition a Fallout. That's what you came here for the most part. Nobody goes to have a steak dinner and you know the potatoes and the water come with it. You get the potatoes and water and you still pay $500, $7,500 for the whole meal. And you're happy. That's bullshit. So y'all can say whatever y'all want. It's bullshit. So again, you still got those people that still want to cap for Phil, stay behind, call me the Xbox hater. I hate the whole body, even though I'm just trying to get rid of the cancer. And again, not saying Phil's a cancer. The state of mind that is trying to be promoted here is the cancer. But again, he's the one that told y'all Crackdown 3 was going to be on the same level of Halo, Gears, and Forza. Not MM2K. That was him. And also, in culmination with that, the initiatives that he seems to be taking, that he has in your hands right now, seem to be less fruitful for the hardcore. You got things like cross-play between PC, even on Sea of Thieves that y'all trying to say was game of the generation. You know what I'm saying? That ain't work out well for you, did it? Xbox Anywhere, like, goddammit, you have nothing to really clap your hands for besides a controller and Keanu Reeves at your show, but goddammit, Nintendo's getting Banjo-Kazooie in their games. They're getting a game with the Banjo-Kazooie in it, and we're sending out tweets, Nintendo fans, we have listened to you. I didn't do that, they did. And again, this whole mystery congressman called Phil 3 o'clock in the morning, so the show that he told you was going to be the biggest thing on earth was restructured because he wanted to save it from the mystical, magical, oogie boogie congressman. I didn't tell you that. Phil, they did. So, with that being said, I don't understand how y'all comfortable with him in the leadership. Because here's what's going to happen. Like it or not, here's what's going to happen. Microsoft is going to be in a place where they're spread so thin because of these initiatives that Phil's throwing out there to have anything stick to the wall under his vision, that he's not carefully adjusting for or realizing, you know what, I may prefer this personally, but this is just not going to fit into the whole totality of things. He's seriously potentially at risk at failing at every initiative and not going into next gen with any leg up anywhere. But it doesn't have to be that way. This is not going to be a podcast of doom and gloom. We got solutions coming. But let's go over the risks first. Risk number one. Your current core engagement. Let me just do something real quick. I want to do something. While I'm here on YouTube. Big ups to the chat. Steph keeping a G. You said I'm calling 5-0 on Phil. No, man, I'm just sending him to the radiation center, man. He needs to go under the knife. Big ups to Xbox Uncut. An authentic, look, I'm going to say this shit too. while I'm still looking, hold on. Let me still look. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this money on the wood. You got a lot of Xbox podcasts out here. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. They're part of this propaganda mess. Now, a lot of people that like the Xbox stuff, like my homie Graphic God and some other people, I may not agree with their positions, but that's okay. I'm not angry at anybody that likes this type of stuff. I just have a more grittier out perspective and outlook on the type of games that I want. But I'm gonna tell you one Xbox group that is not going to feed you horse shit. Okay, they may not be as famous as some of these other cats out here, but they're not feeding you horse shit. And that is Xbox Uncut. You're going to get a diverse, Xbox-oriented conversation with people that are fans of the brand that may not necessarily agree with your boy. But you're going to get facts. Be leery of these Xbox podcasts that are nothing but Phil Spencer propaganda machines that's sending out their lapdogs to try to attack people. And coming up with epic L's, epic fails. If you want a good Xbox podcast, I urge you to go to Xbox Uncut, period. And yeah, I said I don't give a fuck, period. Now, I continue on. Now, let's see here. Speaking of Xbox. Here we go. Dear Lord. It's worse than I thought. All right, just give me a moment, people. Give me a moment. And again, use the free messaging app. Okay? You got something to say? It don't cost you a dime. Just say something in the free messaging app and I'll read it live on air. All right. Let me see now. Let me do this. Okay. Do. Okay. Let's go to there. Videos. Jeez Louise. Okay. Exhibit A. You see this here? This is the Xbox channel. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Steph Keep It G says live viewers number 5,000 to 6,000 downloads. Yeah, man. Yeah. Keep it low, man. Xbox Uncut. Again, I get it, Xbox brethren. Y'all looking for a play. A lot of y'all are. Everybody's not frauding out here. A lot of y'all are comfortable with the state of the company, the brand, and stuff like that. And, you know, it's fine. And that's cool. Diversity of thought. Everybody ain't got to agree with me. My problem is the horse shit. My peoples at Xbox Uncut, they will call out the horse shit on either side. You know what I'm saying? I might not agree with their selections. They may not agree with mine. It don't matter what I think. If you truly want an authentic and honest Xbox podcast that ain't full of members with an exception of one, that ain't about propaganda and bullshit, Tim Dog. You know what I'm saying? Tim Dog's the homie. If you want an Xbox podcast that's going to be honest, go to Xbox Uncut. Period. Now, this is Xbox's YouTube channel. There's over 3 million subscribers. YouTube is the #1 form of outreach and the #1 way to gauge marketing to the current society of viewers and stuff like that outside of TV. Okay? Remember, Aaron Greensberg himself said the reason why Xbox doesn't do a lot of TV ads is because a lot less people are watching TV. So, with that being said, let's look at, excuse me, let's look at these numbers. Making indie games and going ultimate. It's 938 views. Deliver Us the Moon, 1.7 thousand views. Okay, they got 3,000 views on ID at Xbox and Game Pass. And they got 4.7 for the Jedi Fallen. And 4.8 for Surge 2. 4.1, 12, you know what I'm saying? Okay. They're doing all right. In a lot of regards. But they're doing all right. They're doing Z numbers. Z got 15,000 subscribers, okay? And Z's put it out before, so we're talking about 4,000 views, a few thousand views here and there. The Xbox community don't seem to be engaged. Okay? All right, so for a lot of this, indie stuff, PlayStation's hovering around the same amount of views. Right? Except, look at this. For PUBG, they're at 9,000, 28,000, 143,000, 21,000, 53,000, 35,000, 66,000, 29,000, 139,000, 43,000, 54,000, 30,000, 55,000. You see what I'm saying? 36,000. Now, just to make sure y'all don't think that I'm just sitting there skimming stuff, look at these numbers here. 938 freaking views. 13,000. 14,000. You hardly seeing stuff too much in the double digits, but when you do, it's low. Game Bar, which is like the most successful thing because they're forcing everything on Game Bar. That's only at 54,000. Where's the things? Where's the six figures? So all in all, your community is not engaged. They're not engaged. You're not advertising and promoting the shit that they like. So you're not promoting or advertising the shit that they like. But you somehow feel that you're going to be able to see success going into next generation. How? People are not engaged. So that's why I say a lot of y'all, not all, but a lot of y'all are frauding. Y'all are frauding. They have nothing in hundreds of thousands of views around the time that only they were on E3 stage. They're not giving you anything that their core is invigorated or really care about. You saw that the highest set of views was over the goddamn Game Bar. Because they forced the Game Bar on you and people had to figure out what the hell to do with it. And that thing still didn't show you how to address the Game Bar thing. But that's why people went to it. It's the same equivalent with Phil talking about, hey, we had so many viewers that watch E3 and all this stuff. Yeah, they were there because they were expecting y'all to knock the roof off. Y'all said y'all were going big and y'all went flat. Like, come on. So you people aren't engaged. And you know they're not engaged with your tactics because guess what? There was a shitload of mixer layoffs. And in those mixer layoffs, some of the only talent that you really have, as far as advertising is concerned, you got rid of them. Y'all try and go to a different route. And I don't know what that route is. Do y'all even know what that route is? But that's just the engagement. Let's talk about the streaming service, which is your whole big kit and caboodle. the xCloud and culmination with Game Pass. So I want to add, so we're going to chop this up on the two main fronts where they're existing. The xCloud / Game Pass duo on console and then on PC. Let's deal with console first. Let me ask y'all a question. When PlayStation Now drops their stuff day and date, what do you think is going to be the preferred gaming streaming service? PlayStation Now, with all of its critically acclaimed material, or Xbox? Think about that. I'll be right back. So, again, on the console front, if I have a choice, and I'm like, am I going to get the Xbox service or am I going to get the PlayStation service, right? And mind you, you got to remember that Xbox said this themselves. To enjoy the previous games via xCloud, I ain't got to get a new Xbox. I can enjoy it off whatever current console I have. So if those old games were really that critical to me, I keep my old Xbox and use the xCloud to stream those, right? But if I want to get into the new stuff, why not invest in a PlayStation? Why not? I can invest in their games, in their ecosystem, and travel with their new stuff. Why do I have to buy? I don't have to buy a new console, right? Right. See what I'm saying? So they're hamstrung there because of the material that they're putting in. And y'all sitting there saying, well, hold on, MM2K. They might go and get third party in their day and date. This is where y'all got to do y'all research and start listening to Granddaddy Phil, or stop sitting in the Circle Jerks, the Xbox podcast Circle Jerks, where they feed you bullshit. Aaron Greensberg said himself in an interview with Gamertag Radio, when he was asked by Danny of Gamertag Radio, what is going on with y'all trying to get games and Game Pass at third party? He asked Aaron Greensberg this. I just heard the audio, but it sounded like to me, while Aaron Greensberg was trying to answer that question, that he was doing the jig, the wop, everything that you can do to dodge that question, to dance around the damn question. And he basically said, well, it's up to developers. They're going to do what they want to do. Meaning, ain't nobody coming to Game Pass day and date with their third-party games if it's a AAA banger. Why? Because everybody's trying to create their own streaming service. So if you want to see some of these AAA bangers like your Metros or whatever come day and date to Game Pass, then guess what? Microsoft would have had to buy them. Microsoft would have needed to buy them. I mean, can you imagine if Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Metro was day and date? Right? Rage 2 was day and, you know what I'm saying? But they're not buying studios that do that. Don't get me wrong, I like Obsidian for what they've done, but the most AAA thing that they've done was Fallout New Vegas. And that was buggy as hell. Remember? Not saying that Obsidian don't make good AA games. They make a fantastic AA games. But again, The demographic is hungry for AAA bangers. And the biggest AAA banger that they've made, that they released to date, was Fallout New Vegas. And when that was released, they had to cry to the media and say, we're sorry. They're not so much a AAA studio unless you think Stick of Truth, the South Park RPG games. I don't know what y'all consider. Again, I'm not saying those aren't good games, but those aren't the type of games that the community is thirsting for out of Xbox. Y'all say the initiative, but the initiative talking about that they're gonna stay small. We don't know what's coming out of anybody. Ninja Theory makes good games, but they're a AA studio. Double Fine, AA studio. They don't have development teams that have, outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza, and maybe Fable, any AAA games that on the level of a Metro, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that's coming day and date to the service. But when PlayStation does go day and date, they will. And in order for me to enjoy my old games, I just keep my old system and run it free of charge from my old Xbox One X. And I can invest in a new ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying that's what MM2K is going to do, but you look at the 100 million to the under 50 million that Microsoft has, the lack of mind share. I done showed you how their people are not engaged. They don't really, after E3, the biggest gaming show out there, they don't have any videos or any marketing material in the hundreds of thousands. I just showed y'all. Their core is not engaged. And in the aftermath of the hashtag CD3 awakening, how do you plan to establish a base that's going to trust and follow you into this new frontier when you ain't got them engaged? What are y'all thinking? It's like they got their eyes closed and they just want to wish this to happen. I don't get it. That said, that's just on the console front. Y'all sitting there capping all this PC stuff. This Xbox Game Pass on PC. Look, let me explain something to you. They would have possibly seen some systems or some for sure. I'm not going to say they're not going to see any. They would have seen for sure success with Xbox Game Pass on PC if they were the only things out. If they were the only things out. But guess who's going to be out on PC? Stadia. Now you may say, hold up, MM2K. Hold on. Hold the phone. Stadia, Stadia is not dedicated device and it's going to use up bandwidth or whatever. That's fine. But what Stadia is going to do is it's going to allow you to take that Stadia experience that allows you to play on the go and combine it with a dedicated service, which is Uplay Plus. And I'm letting you know right now, I don't give two shits what you say, baby. The moment Uplay Plus drops, it automatically becomes a better service than Game Pass. Automatically. Immediately. It becomes a better and a more appealing service than Game Pass, particularly on PC. If people have a choice on PC to select Uplay Plus or Game Pass, guess where the hell they're going? For instance, proof is in the pudding, baby. Y'all got to get out of these goddamn silos. The Division 2 failed to make marks on console. But guess where it exceeded expectations? On PC. Uplay on PC is beloved. It is more beloved than Xbox in total. Don't get me wrong. People would love to see Halo on PC. Halo's going to do hella fine. But I'm talking about these Xbox services in totality. The moment you play Plus, and it's not just going to have Ubisoft games, they're going to have third-party games too. They're going to have more hardcore third-party games than Microsoft will, I guarantee it. Kind of like EA Premier or EA Origins Premier. So then when you compare it to PC, they don't have a leg up on PC either. They don't have a solidified dog in this race anywhere, but they're spreading themselves everywhere. Y'all saying, no, it's going to change. It's going to change. How y'all know? How you know? How you know that ain't a success? How you know? You want to know how I know it's not a success? In Xbox's premier market, which is the United States, they have not had a single Xbox title ranked in the top 10 when you look at these two major litmuses. A 12-month rolling calendar litmus. So when you go from May of 2019 all the way back to May 2018, there's not a single Xbox title that's in that litmus, or in that range, rather. Not a single game. Or when you go year to date. When you go year to date, you don't have a single title in that litmus. You don't. People are not engaged with your product. Yes, you're making money, but you're making money off of things like Minecraft or what, you know what I'm saying? Things on the periphery that your core is not asking for. Or you might have some more dedicated Halo fans or Gears fans that are still buying skins and microtransactions or whatever. You're living and dying off of that. People aren't watching your videos. They're not buying your games individually. I get it. There are millions in Game Pass, but even with those millions in Game Pass, with all the money that Xbox has to shell out to get these games on there, you think they're in the black with Game Pass right now? And if they're not in the black, that's okay. Because even Disney with its service, they know they're not going to be in the black for 5 years. It's just they're trying to hook, line, and sinker get you in. And then once they got you invested and then make it a way of life, then they're going to start raising prices. That's what Xbox is doing. They're getting you in for $1, lumping in all these subscriptions. So they're trying to hook, line, and sinker and get you in. And then by 2022, you know, they're hoping that you're going to be engaged, and hopefully maybe Fable will be out by then, and another Gears will be out, or something hardcore that might make the service look a little bit more fruitful. But again, you got to hook, line, and sinker those people in. And I'm letting you know right now that because of all these competing services out here on console and on PC, you're probably not going to have that opportunity. The moment that you play Plus drops in Stadia, you're no longer a benefit on PC. The moment that PlayStation Now drops, you're no longer of a benefit on console. You're not the benefit on console. And you see what going second fiddle has did for you. Makes your third, then your fourth, and your fifth. You know what I'm saying? So right now, there's not a whole lot of options. You're just competing against two other people, and there's a lot of money to be made in gaming. But once that pie gets more slices to it, Microsoft, if you don't have a strategy to win and own the throne in any area, you might end up with the smallest slice. And don't believe the naysayers and the shit talkers and the propaganda givers that will tell you otherwise. They're the same people that told you they was going to spend hundreds of hours on Crackdown 3's multiplayer. They're the ones that told you that, you know, that the next generation consoles were dropping this year, right? And that the Lockhart, the one that's now been canceled, was going to have Xbox win the generation, right? They've been helping Microsoft feed you horse shit for years upon years. And as a consequence, you haven't been revving up the fight to force Microsoft's hand to do better. So understand that wholeheartedly. With that said, again, this is not as people say, an RIP Xbox podcast and all this stuff. There are remedies. There are ways that Microsoft can fix this. But before I go into that, again, hey, Graphic God, what's going on, man? I want to, D Almighty, I appreciate you. So with that being said, here's what I want y'all to understand. Well, hold on, before I get into that. If y'all got something to say, put it in the free messaging app. You know what I'm saying? You can do it right there. It doesn't cost you a dime. What's up, Miko Doss? What's going on? Oh, I didn't even hit. Okay. Free messaging app right there. As you guys know how it works, as I see it, I will read your comment and we'll go into a full-fledged discussion. It doesn't cost you a dime, just costs you a couple of clicks. That's it. And it helps support the channel, so I appreciate y'all. Here are some of the remedies that they can partake in that will help with this dilemma that they're really in. Issue number one, or remedy number one. Start putting up ads in YouTube videos that your core cares about. Nobody cares about Super Lucky Tales and Goat Simulator and the mystery rooms. Stop that. The people that you're trying to reach that quote unquote be other places besides TV are us, the hardcore. You need to be hosting more videos on the Division or technical, related stuff like the HDR, or have a video that fully explains the game bar. Right? Stop with this sappy shit. Stop with this sappy, I'm trying to appease the mystery congressman that said that he was coming to pass laws to destroy gaming, so I had to fuck up E3. Stop putting videos on YouTube that suffice that imaginary character. And for those of you that are just following now, this imaginary character was talked about in the Giant Bomb interview. Apparently Phil was worried about laws and stuff that were quote unquote mysteriously being passed that made him do things like pull Fable off the stage and put on Flight Simulator because he wanted to show the more artsy side of gaming, that it wasn't about headshots and kills. If you believe that, whatever. But you're trying to appease them. Rafiri or whoever, the Caitlyn, the people that you let go were not the problem. They tried the best way they can to be stewards of your dog shit message. The problem was the dog shit message. You need to change it. Start putting shit out there that your core cares about. Secondly, as I alluded to, get personalities that touch your core, that care about this stuff. Bring people like Caitlyn and refer back to talk about the things that they do care about. Y'all have the marketing rights to the Division. I believe y'all have the marketing. I could be wrong. I believe y'all have the marketing rights to the new Star Wars game. That should be plastered all over Xbox's channel right now, primarily. You can still sell this, show the squishy soft stuff, but as you can see, it's only getting 938 views. It's only getting a little bit of views. Nobody cares about it. Nobody cares. They're not watching it. Look. Look. Nobody cares about the indie games. 938 views. 1,700 views. Deliver Us the Xbox Man on the Moon. ID at Xbox. 3,000 views. You got 3 million views, subscribers. They don't care about this stuff. They don't care. Even your week on Xbox, it's not pulling 6 figures like Sony stuff is. Nobody cares. Put stuff out there that people care about. Put messengers out there that know how to speak and know how to appeal to your core. Period. It's simple. This squishy, soft stuff is not working. Next, give console buyers value for the subscription service. You gotta give pure value to the console buyers. Aaron Greensberg pitifully, in that same Gamertag radio interview, excuse me, explained that Xbox's way of giving value to the console gamer was via Xbox All Access. If you don't remember what that is, that's the program that allows you to lease an Xbox console and Xbox Game Pass through Dell. That's their way of giving value to the console gamer. That is the most pathetic effing thing that I've heard in my life. And I know I keep saying that, but Xbox doesn't cease to amaze. But they can fix this. They can fix this. Again, it's not all doom and gloom. We're just trying to cut the cancer out of the body so the body can heal and continue on. Give Xbox console buyers real value. Subscription services should be 10, 15, maybe 20% off if you have an Xbox console. If I own an Xbox console, then with more of an install base, that'll help fellow Xbox console owners because more people like them will guarantee more support. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, that said. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so where were we at? And I apologize for that. People were sitting there yapping and louder than I can be. If you're louder than me, we got a problem. So there should be some type of discount on the console. There should be discount on the console because, again, more console souls out there, the more support console owners can have. This whole I don't care where you play thing, that's silly. You shouldn't even advertise. Who markets their products like that? Can you imagine Apple saying, well, you know what? I don't care if you buy an iPad. We're going to have our services everywhere. No, the iPad may not be their premier service, but they're going to market everything vigorously. Because the more vigorously they market their stuff, the more support it's going to get. That's just a fact. And you want your consumer support. For instance, Xbox One X. I love my Xbox One X. But one thing that we can, all of us that are Xbox One X owners, one thing that we cannot deny, and we know this is the truth, is that the Xbox One X has suffered from a lot of lazy development. Suffered from a lot of lazy development. That people did not want to put the time and effort into developing and making the box sing. You really didn't have nobody do that until Red Dead Redemption 2. A year after its release. That's ridiculous. When at launch, this was supposed to be astronomically better than a competition. You had God of War on a base PlayStation 4 that, as far as fidelity was concerned, looked better than all of the preceding things that was on the most powerful console in the world. That's not because the box wasn't capable. Nobody wanted to do it. Why? Because why would you go through all this extra effort for a console that's part of a family that's being outsold 2, maybe even 3 to 1? Why? Why would you do that? And mess up the good thing you got with Sony? I'm not saying it's right, but it's business. And Microsoft, by them not vigorously, by them putting the most weakest console in the forefront, they had a failing strategy. The reason for joining the Xbox ecosystem would have been the X, solely. Don't get me wrong, the 4K upscale on the S was cool, but not a lot of people had 4K TVs. The Xbox One X benefited you if you had a 4K TV or not via the super sampling. So yeah, I get it, make the S available for a cheaper entry point, but heavily push the X. It's a no-brainer. Just by attrition, if someone sees the X and be like, that's a little bit more pricey, then you can market it like, well, if you want something that has a 4K upscale and you can't afford the X right now, you can get the S. What are you guys thinking? But again, the point I'm saying is the poor strategy led to less saturation of the X, which led to less support. So we didn't get our full $500 out of this box. Yeah, they look better, but not astonishingly better. When I know there's a $200 system that can produce games that look better than mine, I feel slighted. You feel slighted. I'm sorry. So because of that, you got to understand that in order for this console, even though the console is going to exist, if they don't work on saturation and work the best that they can to get saturation, again, that ain't got to be your main method of delivery. We get that. You're trying to reach these 2 billion gamers, right? So we get there's not going to be 2 billion console people out there. So I get it. But you still got to market your product. You still got to do it. And you fight for the best saturation, period. You don't just sit there and say, well, it's here. Then why are developers going to support it? Why are they going to push the fidelity? Why would they go through it? And you make it more likely that Sony can just step in and drop a bag on the table and say, you know what, you ain't even got to drop a version, the high fidelity version for their system. You ain't even got to do it. We'll buy them out. We'll do an Epic Games. We'll give you more money than you would even make on their system if you sold a copy on every single system. We'll give you more money. And it's not going to be hard for PlayStation to do. You know why? Because there's not going to be plenty of consoles out there. Because Microsoft told you they don't care if you buy their product. Who says that? Not, hey, it may not be our main delivery method, but it's one that's valued to us. And we want there to be as much support as possible. It's a very valuable staple within our lineup. You ain't even got to go that far. To say, along with our consoles, the delivery method of being able to play everywhere, we think complements the console and adds great exponential value to our gaming ecosystem. Now, I don't care I'm not here to sell you. I'm not here to sell you my product. Who says that? But I digress. Next. Okay, so that's it for the consoles. You want to do that? You want to give the edge to your streaming platform? Meanwhile, guaranteeing success on anywhere that you're at? You got to give value to the console and tie it into the subscription services. Lock people in. Maybe the more that they bundle at one time, the bigger the discount. If you get a console and you buy 2 years of Xbox Game Pass, maybe we'll give it to you at a 15% discount instead of 10. But if you buy the console, you get the automatic 10. You see what I'm saying? You have to add value to every single avenue that you're at. These consoles are going to be close in specs. Even if the Xbox, the Scarlet is going to be slightly more powerful, it's only going to be slightly more powerful on paper. Sony's still going to go, even though they might do day and date, they're still going to go in. They're putting their investments equally in all of their platforms. That's going to mean a lot to consumers that mainly game on consoles, on the ease of console. The ease of console is still a very popular avenue. The $2 billion is just a potential right now. It's just a potential. You have a guaranteed dedicated group of gamers right now. Why are you throwing that away for a potential? That's Microsoft's problem. They always want to hunker down on initiatives in flight. I said this last night, it's an industry term. When you have a brainstorm and you're trying to develop it, it's considered in flight. But it may not be ready for implementation. There's the planning, the in-flight, and then the rollout period. You're not really supposed to hunker down and start promoting what you're doing until you're in the rollout period. Because it's complete. It's ready to roll out. Not while it's in flight. If it's in flight, if you step out of a plane while it's in flight, guess what? You're going to crash and fall and die. The rollout when the plane rolls onto the tarmac is right before it stops and you're ready to get out. The rollout. It's all common sense. But Microsoft lives in this echo chamber. That's just baffling. I don't understand it. But we ain't got to understand it. They just got to do better. But that's it for the console. What about the PC market? You got to improve that Windows Store ASAP. Stop focusing on 1,000 different apps for all this other stuff. The Game Pass, the Ultimate Game Pass. Those things are unnecessary. All development time outside of the console needs to be focused on the Windows Store. What the hell are you doing? What are y'all doing? Stop it. And on that front, to make this happen, because y'all done tried this too many times. Too many attempts and failures at it. Just like how y'all promoting these people that are coming to these studios that are going to be making these AA games. In all likelihood. Could be wrong, but in all likelihood. Start promoting tech gurus that you're acquiring from Steam or whoever. Y'all need talent to help y'all redo that Windows Store. And y'all need it bigly. Y'all need it bigly. That's what you should be promoting. Because fixing the Windows Store is something more tangible in the minds and in the mind share of consumers. We don't know what y'all plan to produce with these developers. Stop trying to promote hogwash and smoke and mirrors. Start promoting these tech gurus that you have coming from places like Steam or wherever that have successful stores, and how you have them coming over to help with the Windows Store. And if you don't, start doing it now. The Windows Store is trash. It is unacceptable that Microsoft has a trash store. Unbelievable. Also on the PC front. Again, you battling. You play Plus, baby. You battling it. They are way more beloved than you are on PC. Do not listen to these fools that's halfway in, halfway out in PC and console gaming. You want to compete with them? You want to compete with the big boys? Then you need to have some prominent PC games drop day and date in Game Pass for PC. I mean, you're going to have to start pinning some major deals to get that mind share and to get people to hunker down and say, oh, I need this. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to throw you a bone. One of the biggest games that you can get is you need to go to the makers of the Arma series. Yes. You need to go to I know it's a hardcore game, it's headshots and kills, but you need to go to the makers of Arma and sign an all-exclusive deal with them for 10, 50, however long you can. Because Arma is the biggest thing on PC. Next to a Dota or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to get Dota. If you can get Dota, shit, sign them too. But you don't need Game Pass. I think, isn't Dota like free to play? I'm not talking about a free to play game. I'm talking about a game. Because Arma birthed all of the H1, N1, Z1s, and PUBG. Those were all Arma mods. Arma is the biggest military shooter on PC. Y'all need that. You need that. I would sign a deal with Arma, the makers of Arma, and I should know who they are. Bohemia Interactive. I knew who I can't believe. I forgot today. You need to sign with Bohemia Interactive, an all-exclusive deal for their games to come day and date to Game Pass. And you know who else that you need to sign a deal with? You already got some of their titles coming in a lot of ways. But get all of them. Get everything. I would get the makers of the Warhammer series. Was a GameWorks. I believe they are. I think their name is GameWorks. Game Workshop. You need to get the Game Workshop team, sign an all-exclusive deal with them, and have all of their games come day and date. They are huge on PC. That covers a lot of your hardcore bases, along with Obsidian and along with NXL. Then you're going to give Uplay a run for their money. Then you would give Uplay a run for their money. And lastly, you got to put something in people's hands. This is across the board. We've already seen Uplay Plus. We've already seen. We already seen PlayStation Now. It's already out there. Now again, it may not be the best service, but again, they've signed over with Azure. We know the service is going to be bumping, and when they put their stuff in day and day, people can only imagine with the acclaimed PlayStation lineup that's in there now. And the third parties they're bound to get, they've already got games like Mafia and stuff in there. I mean, the service is going to be bumping. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a tidbit of it, of what it's going to become is out there now. Then you have Stadia via the Project Stream thing that was already put in people's hands. They've got to experience that and play it the way that they want to. Then you have Steam that's even released their remote service outside of the home. I've played it. Works fine with me. You and Amazon are the last ones out. And here's the thing about Amazon. We don't know if they're going to continue to come out. Amazon laid off a whole bunch of people. Maybe they're refocusing their things. But I will give kudos to Amazon. Amazon is not releasing stuff on flight. They're not telling people to just step out of the plane while it's still in the air. They're going to wait until they are properly in the rollout phase, and then they're going to show you what they got. And then that's going to have an impact. See, the problem that you have, Microsoft, is that you've already have things out there that people can pull receipts on and judge you by. And it's not looking good. It's not positive. A lot of these people out here that are PlayStation fans, they are only giving you kudos. And my PlayStation people that are in here now can vouch for this. The people out there in the media and the Colin Moriarty's and the people out there that are saying, oh yeah, Game Pass is are talking all this shit, is because they know now that you have resigned yourself to not fight Sony anymore. Being that you gave up, they're going to praise y'all. Like, yeah, it's a great second service. That's why the media is not killing y'all like that no more. Because you're not trying to battle PlayStation. That's the only reason why they're giving you kudos. But believe you me, if you told them, you only got one choice to have. You either go with what Xbox is giving, or you go with what PlayStation is giving. None of them are picking Xbox. They're only giving kudos to you again because you have reserved to second, third place. There's no more fighting you. They're not going to kick a dead horse anymore. So you can't use that as a gauge for success. They're finally not being harsh on us anymore. You're dead and out. Okay, you want to be around as an auxiliary gaming service? Fine, we'll pay $10 a month for your shit. Whatever. As long as you don't try to compete. So that's the only reason why they're doing that now. That's smoke and mirrors. Don't fall for that shit. But you got to put stuff in people's hands now. Because if you don't, I don't know where y'all think y'all were going to have success at if you don't. Because you may be spread everywhere, but wanted by no one. And that's a fact. So again, it's not RIP Xbox podcast. I don't hate I don't hate Xbox. I don't even hate Phil Spencer. I just think his mind state and approach to gaming is cancerous. It needs to be cut from the body so the body can heal and continue on. He needs to go to ESRA. It's either that or he does a drastic change. He still pushes Satya's philosophy of streaming because there's no way around that, but he gets us hardcore material. I like Mike Ybarra in his place because Mike Ybarra gave us the only standalone hardcore title, even though it was time, that was pleasing to the core, and that was PUBG. That was all Mike Ybarra. So if it wasn't for Mike Ybarra, we wouldn't even have that. Mike Ybarra, I believe, gets it. He gets it. With that being said, you gotta, again, put up material that engages your core. Put up personalities that can recite that message. Give console buyers a value. Even though that may not be your predominant way of getting your games out, it still has to be a way that you fight for, period. You got to give value to your console gamers. Give them some type of discount or something, because without saturation, they're not going to get support, and it's not fair for them that you make them pay upwards of $400 or $500, $600 for a console that people aren't going to support because there's not plenty of them out there. Because in your own words, I don't need to sell you a console. I don't need to sell you my product. Who says that? You also have to improve the Windows Store ASAP on the PC front. You got to do it. And a tie into that is stop advertising this person came here to work at this studio that's going to make a game that we have no idea what the hell it's going to end up like, and start advertising people that are going to fix that Windows Store, that you got tech gurus doing that. I need to see that. And then lastly, on the PC front, if you're going to go hard on PC, go all the way, baby. You need to reshore your second party deals, not just on console, but on PC. And you have a unique opportunity here. This is one thing that you do have a unique opportunity with. And I guarantee you, if they haven't thought about this, and if somebody that's a tie-in to Stadia is hearing me saying this and they haven't thought about this, I bet you as soon as this podcast is over, they're going to jump right on it. You need to sign up with the Bohemia Interactive, right? You need to sign up with the Games Workshop with all the Warhammer stuff. And you need to work out, hammer some type of deal with those two entities at the very least to get some hardcore content on your PC streaming service side that comes day and date. All of it. All of it. If you do that, then that gives you a leg up. You got to get a leg up somewhere. You don't have the luxury of just being this mysterious entity that gets to promote just these collages of ideas to promote yourself. Promotion right now is based upon what you have out there because you already exist. So you got to get some deals on the books that's going to be meaningful. Or again, you'll be available everywhere, but you'll mean nothing to nobody. And that's it from your boy MM2K. Hey, yo. Steven said it. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Anybody else got something to say as I go through this the chat and thank everybody for coming? Hey, yo. That's the link to the free chat. Feel free to say something and I'll read it live on air if you got any questions. But big ups to Vaughn, AZ Van, Heath Stevens, Elanucha Speaks, Devil Shooter. What's up, Devil Shooter? Miko Dawes, The Almighty Spartan God. What's up, homie? Good to see you. Andrew Wilkins, Brian V, Graphic God. What else we got in here? And I think the noob of games. Xbox is dog shit. I need to stop. That's it. I think that's it. I think that's everybody. I was chopping it up in here, man. Soundwave 1. Steph keeping it G. Like I said, man, y'all want an Xbox podcast that ain't about the dumb shit. It ain't about giving you fictitious hope and all that other stuff. I mean, again, if you have an opinion on something, that's different. But to speak in absolutes about dog shit because you think that Mike Ybarra coming on your show is going to promote you to high heavens, and you do it at the risk of misinforming your people that listen to your show and selling them on false hopes. No. Xbox Uncut is an honest Xbox show by true Xbox fans. I urge you to check it out if you want real Xbox content. And again, I don't know if he still shows up. I'm not just making this up because these are just people that I know or people that I've hung out with on a regular basis. Your boy Tim Dog would show up on there. I got the utmost faith in your homie Tim Dog. I do. Me and him may not agree on certain things, on philosophies, but Tim Dog, he's going to be straightforward with you as far as the information that he has and where he's coming from as far as his opinions are concerned. And he's going to tell you, he's going to separate opinion from fact. He's not going to sell you on false hopes. He's going to tell you what his opinion is, give you the reason for his opinion, and he's going to lay out the facts for you. You may not agree with his opinion, but that's A-okay. Diversity of thought. He was a regular person that showed up here and there on Xbox Uncut. I don't know if he still does. I don't know if he still has the time. But again, this is not just, for my Xbox people out there. Check out Xbox Uncut if you're not watching it right now or listening to it. They're on iTunes or everywhere where you have a podcast platform. Swift Arsonist, The Real Maslin, Brigadier William Wildebeest. Says, love your show, sir. I appreciate you, man. Hey, put that in the love, in the free messaging app, man. No doubt. And Mac, I appreciate all of y'all coming out straight up. Nobody had any questions for your boy MM2K? No questions? Okay, that's cool. With that being said, I thank everybody that was listening. I had a lot of fun doing this, even though I'm burning up. I will be on Multiplayer Podcast later on today, so check me out there. Spilling my shit, you know what I'm saying? And as always, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Flying high as a kite.